Bonjour. Leçon 17. We are now at lesson 17. So last week or 2 weeks ago, remember that we did your age and you drew me pictures of your birthday parties, and it was so nice to see some of the wonderful things. So I hope that you can remember to say, quel âge as-tu? What is your age? And then you say, j'ai 16 ans, j'ai 6 ans, or j'ai 5 ans. And remember what I told you in the beginning, if you forget the question, quel âge as-tu? You can just say, bonjour, j'ai 5 ans. Et toi? And you? Et toi? Then you don't have to ask the long question, and then they'll say their age. Bon, but today you are going to tell me where you live. Do you live in a house? Do you live in an appartement? Do you live in a tree house or a tent or whatever, wherever you live? So if you look at the first page of your activity, you will see on the top you have Leçon 17, and just underneath that, où habites-tu? Où means where. Habite means live, and tu means you. So if you want to ask someone, where do you live? You say, where live you? The word order is slightly different. So let's practice that. Où habites-tu? Où habites-tu? Bon, où habites-tu? So you can now ask, quel âge as-tu? How old are you? And où habites-tu? Now, if you want to answer that question, you can look at the top of your page on the left-hand side. There you have I live. I live is j'habite. J'habite. Now remember the H. I know some of you are not spelling and writing words still, but some of you are. So look at the H and remember the H is mute. It's a letter that you don't pronounce. So actually you just ignore it and you go over to the A and you say j'habite. J'habite. So I live in will now be j'habite dans. J'habite dans. Now dans is again a little bit in your nose. It stops here on the top of your nose. Remember, it's a nasal sound. J'habite dans. J'habite dans. Now let's see where you can live. So let's start with the most interesting one on the left-hand side. I live in a tree house. And then you can actually live in the zoo with all your animals. Okay, so a tree house is une cabane dans les arbres. That's the most difficult one. But let's try. You are clever now, so I think you will be able to say that. Une cabane dans the trees, les arbres. Une cabane dans les arbres. Okay, let's try. I live in a tree house. J'habite dans une cabane dans les arbres. Encore. J'habite dans une cabane dans les arbres. Très bien. J'habite, encore. J'habite dans une cabane dans les arbres. So maybe you don't live there, but maybe you just play there. Then you can also remember that in cabane is a tree house. On top, in the middle, you have houses that are next to each other, but they're all different. And they're not like an appartement that you see on the right-hand side, like a apartment, but it's three complete houses, but they are next and sort of linked to each other. So then you talk about une maison de ville. It's actually a city house. Une maison is a house. Une maison. And a house in the city, une maison de ville. Une maison de ville. So try to say I live, sorry, I speak Afrikaans in between. I live in a city house. J'habite dans une maison de ville. J'habite dans une maison de ville. If you live in an apartment, then next to the maison de ville, you have un appartement. Un appartement. Encore, un appartement. So let's make the whole sentence. I live in an apartment. J'habite dans un appartement. J'habite dans un appartement. Maybe you live in a tent. I don't think for forever, but maybe on holiday you can tell someone, I live in that tent. So then you can say une tente. Une tente. So, j'habite dans une tente. J'habite dans une tente. And if you live in a house, I think most of you live in a house, then you say j'habite dans une maison. Maison. Encore, j'habite dans une maison. J'habite dans une maison. Okay, now let's practice them all. Go back to the tree house. Okay? I live in a house in the tree. With me. J'habite dans une cabane dans les arbres. I live in a city house. It's also something like a cluster house. J'habite dans une maison de ville. Encore, again. J'habite dans une maison de ville. Then I live in an apartment. J'habite dans un appartement. J'habite dans un appartement. I live in a tent. J'habite dans une tente. J'habite dans une tente. And I live in a house. J'habite dans une maison. Maison. J'habite dans une maison. Now you can also say, Father lives in an apartment. Papa habite dans un appartement. Or maman lives in a maison de ville. So then you say, Maman habite dans une maison de ville. Bon, très bien. Let's go to the next page. Voila! And on the next page, you can now see that you have your house, your maison. And now we are going to learn what is in your house, which rooms you have in your house. There again on top is Leçon 17, number 17. And where do you live? Let's say that again. Où habites-tu? Où habites-tu? Now there's a long sentence on top. You don't have to learn it, but listen how I say it. I want to say, in my house there is or there are. Dans ma maison, in my house. Dans ma maison, there is or there are, il y a. Il y a. So then you say, dans ma maison, il y a. Dans ma maison, il y a. And now let's look at all the rooms in your house. On top, you can have le grenier. A grenier is like an attic. Some of the houses still have attics, some don't. But if you have an attic in France, most of the houses where they live have an attic. Le grenier. Le grenier. Voila. And then you get to your bedroom. Your bedroom is la chambre. La chambre. Can you see? I stop on the R. La chambre. That's your bedroom. La chambre. Now, how many chambres has this house? On top, there's two. Can you see? There's one chambre. Suppose it's Maman and Papa that sleep there. And then on the right-hand side, maybe it can be your room with a T. La chambre. La chambre. In the middle, you have the bathroom. Listen to that. La salle de bain. La salle de bain. Salle is a room and bain is a bath. So it's the room of the bath. La salle de bain. Again, encore. La salle de bain. Then downstairs. Now I know all of your houses don't have an upstairs and a downstairs. It doesn't matter. You can just say the rooms. And you know what is a very good idea to remember the rooms? Make little stickers. And then on the door, when you go into the chambre, you put a sticker there, la chambre. You go into the bathroom, you put a sticker, la salle de bain. Then you see it every day and you can remember. Downstairs, we have le salon. Le salon. Now, le salon is your living room or your sitting room, or I don't know what you call it, but where you sit and chat and have tea and watch television, or so they usually call le salon, le salon. Then the dining room, that is where I eat. So they actually say the room of eating. La salle à manger, la salle à manger. Encore, la salle à manger. And then the last room that you usually have is the kitchen where maman works and where you maybe love to make little gâteaux. So, la cuisine. La cuisine. Encore, la cuisine. Now, some of your houses maybe have 3 chambres, 3 bedrooms or more or less. Some maybe have 2 salles de bain, 2 bathrooms, 2 salles de bain. And maybe you have 2 salons, 1 formal and 1 informal salon. So later on you can show me what is in your house. Let's go through the house again. Let's say the sentence, in my house there are. And we start with a grenier. Okay. Dans ma maison, il y a le grenier, la chambre, la salle de bain, again la chambre, downstairs, le salon, then the dining room, la salle à manger, and then la cuisine. Now walk through your house, and every room that you come to, you say, ah, voilà, there is la chambre, and there is la cuisine. Now you can actually now say Mama is in the kitchen because you have all the words. Maman est dans la cuisine. Dans is in. Can you remember? Dans. Papa is in the salon. Papa est dans le salon. Papa est dans le salon. Okay, quickly again, all the rooms. In my house they are. Dans ma maison, il y a le grenier, la chambre, la salle de bain, la chambre, le salon, la salle à manger et la cuisine. So if you're not sure, just go back to the page. Then on the next page, you can see that is your activity. So now you must put the rooms into your house, dans la maison. So again, you have on top, where do you live? Où habites-tu? And then you'll say, dans ma maison il y a. Now you can do it wherever you want. You can put it wherever you want. You can even draw a house with just one level if you want to, but this is nice to do it here so you can cut it out. But these are now without the words. So let's see if you can recognize the top one on the left-hand side. In my house, there is a bedroom. Okay, let's say that. Dans ma maison, il y a la chambre. In my house, there's a living room. Dans ma maison, il y a le salon. In my house, there is a kitchen. Dans ma maison, il y a une cuisine. Then to the right-hand side, there is a blue bathroom. So you can say, in my house, there's a bathroom blue. Try that. Dans ma maison, il y a la salle de bain bleue. Then we have the dining room. Can you remember? Dans ma maison, il y a la salle à manger. La salle à manger. And how many chairs is there with the table? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Voilà. And then the last room. Dans ma maison, il y a encore another, la chambre. Dans ma maison, il y a la chambre. Now you can have more chambres, you can have more salle de bain, you can make your house, you can even draw your own house if you want to. But it's very important that you see these words every day and that you practice it every day so that maybe you can then say, in the morning, I am in la chambre now, and now I'm going to la salle de bain, and then I'm going to have breakfast in la cuisine or in la salle à manger. And tonight, when I come back from, this afternoon, when I come back from school, I am going to regarder la télévision dans le salon. So then the language becomes lively for you. Ça va? Bon. So you can cut it out and you can put it in the house and you can send me the picture. Boom, next page. Now, the house is not empty. We must have furniture. So let's see where we can put the furniture. So again, on top of your page, you have Leçon 17. Où habites-tu? Where do you live? Now you're talking about your own room. Now you say dans ma chambre. In my room, il y a. There is and there are. Dans ma chambre. Remember the other sentence was dans ma maison, in my house. Now you have the opportunity to say what's in your room. Dans ma chambre. Say that. Dans ma chambre, il y a. Encore. Dans ma chambre, il y a. Now maybe you have a mirror. Le miroir. Le miroir. Then you have a bed. Le lit. You don't say the T. Le lit. Le lit. Your cupboard. L'armoire. L'armoire. And this armoire is brown. Can you see? L'armoire. Then at the bottom, when you have a chest of drawers or a cupboard where you can put all your things in, it's la commode. La commode. Encore. La commode. Then, if you have to wake up in the morning, you have an alarm clock, and that's le réveil. Le réveil. Encore. Le réveil. And then a lamp in front of your bed, on your bedside table. La lampe. La lampe. So let's practice it again. A mirror. Le miroir. Le lit. The cupboard. L'armoire. Your drawers. La commode. Le réveil. Et la lampe. Now let's say it in the whole sentence. In my room there are. Voilà. Dans ma chambre, il y a le miroir, le lit, l'armoire, la commode, le réveil, la lampe. And some other things you can look up on Google and maybe put that in your room. So now you can say where you live and you can say what is in your house. Voila. If you're not sure, go back, just rewind, repasser, and then practice. So let's go to the next page, la prochaine page. There is your activity. Now the next two pages actually go together. So now you have dans ma chambre il y a, in my room, and there on the last page you have all the things that you can put. Now you can choose. Is your réveil rose or bleu? Is your lampe rose or bleu? Is your bed rose or bleu? Whatever you want. And then you put it in the picture, the same that you did with the zoo. You put all the furniture in your room the way that you want it and the way that you're happy with it. Ça va? So, dans ma chambre il y a. Now let's read on the last page, the one that you can cut out. Let's see if you can remember. What is a mirror again? Le miroir. What is an alarm clock? Le réveil. Le réveil. What is a lamp? La lampe. La lampe. And your cupboard? L'armoire. L'armoire. And then your bed? Le lit. Le lit. And then your cupboard with the drawers? La commode. La commode. So now you can make me your room. So you have two things that you have to do. That's why we give you 2 weeks now to practice the words and to do the activities. So you can make me your house and send me a picture. And if this house that is on the picture is too small, you can add rooms. You can add a lot of rooms and put that together. And then in your room, dans ma chambre, you can also add things if it's not here. I hope you enjoy it. And then whenever you go into your house or into your room, just try to say all the things that you can see that you have. And you know what? Remember that in Europe, and remember France is in Europe. Some of the big cities, they don't have so much space in the cities that we have. So most of the people live in appartements in the big cities. They don't have houses and they don't have gardens. And if they have a petit animal, a small animal, the animal stays with them in the appartement. So the appartement is usually bigger than our apartments. It's very comfortable, it's very comfortable. And they have a lot of lovely parks. So when they come back from work or when they were out, they come and fetch le chien, the dog, or the petit animal that they have, and then they go to the park and they have a nice promenade and they walk around. So the cities are big, but they don't have big gardens like we have. Yes, in the countryside they have houses with gardens, but most of the people live in smaller houses or appartements. So we in South Africa are very fortunate to have a lot of space, to have a lot of gardens and grass and things that we can run around. So I hope you learn to love your maison and that you try to say every room and every piece of furniture en français. And then I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. I hope you have a wonderful trip through your house and your room. Au revoir.